After the presidential and parliamentary elections held on Thursday last week, Ugandans held another set of elections yesterday. The Electoral Commission conducted local government elections to elect LC5 chairpersons and their councillors throughout the country. However, there was low voter turnout in the local government elections as compared to the turnout during presidential and parliamentary elections.
The reports of how the exercise was conducted have started to come in, and they're going to help us analyze the voter turnout. But if you go by the first images and the first pictures, especially in urban areas, you can see that the turnout was fairly lower than what we saw during presidential and parliamentary election, which is a concern for us because we prepared for all registered voters to vote.
For example, at the polling station NAN to Z at Mutungo in Nakawa Division, there are 1,039 registered voters, and by 3 p.m., only 158 voters had cast their vote. At a polling station A to KI, with 1,149 registered voters, 267 had cast their vote, while KO to NOM, with registered voters 1,182 voters, only 227 had voted. This low voter turnout was experienced all over the country where local government elections were held. The election monitoring experts have attributed low voter turnout to frustration after the presidential and parliamentary elections.
You remember that some people were behind certain candidates who may not have made it through the elections of last week. So that frustration caused people not to go out and vote for their preferred local government council leaders.
Usually it is caused by what we call voter fatigue, but also it is caused by the model of elections that we hold. We hold a model of elections that promotes ideological and emotive voting rather than rational thinking to vote, the rational thinking model or the sociological model. What does the sociological model promote, for example? The sociological model advances the needs of society, that for us as a society, this is our national priority, this is our district priority, this is our community priority. So the society itself determines the issues that affect them at a social level.
So I think we need to look at several ways to solve this issue and ensure that the people for whom we prepare, including where we've put money, like the ballot papers, they actually turn up and cast their vote so that there is no loss on the part of the Electoral Commission and the country as a matter of, and the country which funds the electoral process.
However, this is not the first time that voters shun local government elections.
If we look back at 2016, only about 37% of the voting population turned up to participate in the 2016 local government council elections.
In 2001 we saw it, in 2006 we saw it, in 2011 we saw it, in 2016, and I think it's going to be the same thing with the 2021. The 2021 voter turnout has not yet been worked out, but when it is worked out finally, we shall be able to tell significantly that there was a decrease in number. So it is not.
The Electoral Commission has received a proposal to have a bottom-up approach in conducting elections and climax with presidential and parliamentary elections instead.
We changed our model of voting, or if we went by the electoral reform that civil society suggested to Parliament 2 or 3 years ago, we suggested to them that let's just increase the number of ballots, the boxes, the number of boxes at the polling station. Instead of just having presidential, the constituency MP and district woman MP, we add on the mayor and LC5, such that when one person comes to poll, they receive 5 ballots, and then they know I'm voting the president, I'm voting the constituency MP, I'm voting the district woman member of parliament, I'm voting the LC5 and the councillor, and they finish it on that one day.
The other suggestion that we have made is to begin elections right from the lower level, local government, as we come up to Parliament and finally the presidential elections.
If we started with the lower council elections, people might come. The campaign themselves, the pressure of the campaign is what propels people to actually go and vote. Because you've been in the campaign, you've been saying my candidate, you've been following them, then suddenly you have this one chance to go and actually demonstrate the fact that the campaign worked for you.
I think those are legitimate concerns, and those could be valid arguments. But like you know, we need to have the manner in which we organize elections is prescribed by law, and so we need to look at it and see what the law can accommodate, and whether amendments need to be made to that effect, and whether the roadmap can now handle that.
If taken into consideration, Parliament will have to amend electoral laws. Jingo Francis, NTV.